Yeah, with Alex
Yeah,
Honnold.
oh my god, and he wouldn't. I think he told his girlfriend or something at the time to yeah, she had to go and all this stuff so that she wouldn't be worried as well. Yeah, that was a wild process behind the scenes of that documentary, like how they filmed it was so interesting. Like
Yeah,
what a mission.
yeah. Yeah, he's amazing, that guy. I do respect. I can kind of understand the headspace. I do like that concept, like talking about like a flow state. Like that's like kind of the ultimate. You just have to. He has to be in that perfect state
Mm,
of mind where he can just not wig out. Because if you start stressing climbing, the adrenaline starts to go, and it's actually counterproductive to being like having
mm,
fine motor control. So the fact that he's got the mental capability to be like almost a kilometer off the ground on
mm,
El Capitan in Yosemite and just be
yeah,
making these moves. And it's a hard climb too. Like it's a climb that a lot of people can't actually physically just do it with ropes. You know what I mean? So it's not
mm,
like it's an
yeah.
easy climb.
Everything was mapped to the centimeter. That was just like, whoa, he's mapped this entire path down to like the centimeter of where he's going to put his finger.
I love that sort of thing. It sounds like they might be similar to are they similar to the boats that in Thailand, the traditional boats, or the let's say in between
Yeah,
traditional and now they have the kind of speed boats. They also have these long boats, and they have
yeah,
it's essentially a V8 engine on a rudder that they
yeah.
with a massive prop off the back.
It was, yeah, it was a similar shape boat. I remember in Thailand, those boats as well. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
crazy
it's quite
setup.
funny.
Just the concept of having that engine like moving and just one long drive shaft that goes out the
Mm,
back with a prop on it.
yeah, and
Yeah,
all the safe stuff. I just remember being like, oh, at least we've got the sat nav, at least we've got the flares and life jackets that they were in the other boat, which wasn't with us. It was like 15 minutes ahead of us because they didn't have all the people, so they could go a lot faster.
How good. Yeah. Uh, we we um we had a story not quite that drastic, but it was a little bit touch and go. My wife and I um were in Thailand for our oh no, that's right. It wasn't the honeymoon, no, because I wouldn't have done it because I was thinking because I convinced Debs to go down to this place called Railay Bay, which has big cliffs. So I wanted to go rock climbing there because I used to be really into climbing. But we did like this baby moon thing, right? So she's like, I don't know, 6, 7 months pregnant, like heavily pregnant. And we went on this and I had to drive like a couple of hours down to get to where the set off point was to go, and we negotiated this van driver that you never know, like whether like when you come back he's
Yeah,
actually going to be there or not. But we'd done this agreement and it seemed like he was trustworthy, so we're like, okay, we'll see you here later. And yeah, we went over there. And it's just spectacular, like big cliffs that come out of the water, and it was great. Like I went climbing. Deb's got a massage, so that part was all great. But by the time we were leaving, it got really stormy, and so we couldn't leave the same way that we came in. We had to go out this back sort of side of the island, and so that involved a little bit of a journey just to get across onto that side. And then the tide was up, so like I guess the jetty that you would go across, which is really just a big long bit of concrete, was about underwater by about that much. So we're going along this slippery sort of thing you can just see through the water. And my wife is pregnant. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm the worst. I'm the worst husband.
yeah.
She's not up for that sort of adventure at all. Like we're on the opposite ends of the scale.
Oh,
So we're going along. I'm going, it's okay, we're gonna be all right. And yeah, got into the boat thankfully and survived. But
yeah.
I do like that culture
The
shock element
story.
of going to places like Thailand, and it's just
Yeah,
even just the driving is crazy.
yeah, and all those stories are always the ones that you share as well. People like those stories of like stuff that nearly goes wrong.
That's right. I
Funny.
know.
At the
It's
time, you're like, "Oh, this is I can't do anything to get out of this situation," and then it's always the one that you tell. Kind
yeah.
of funny. People like rather stories about like danger and misery.
Yeah, they 100% do. Yeah, and particularly people in the climbing community too. Like, and that's been one of the things that anything that I've had happen that was remotely like that, like if we were doing a bigger multi-pitch climb or something like that, I've just not told Debs about because that would be
Yeah,
like that. That's it. Climbing's over.
yeah. Have you
You're not
seen
going
how good?
climbing.
Did you see Free Solo?
Yeah, with Alex
Yeah.
Honnold.
Oh my god! And he wouldn't. I think he told his girlfriend or something at the time to yeah she had to go and all this stuff so that she wouldn't be worried as well. Yeah, that was a wild process behind the scenes of that documentary. Like how they filmed it was so interesting. Like
Yeah,
what a mission.
yeah. Yeah, he's amazing, that guy. I do respect. I can kind of understand the headspace. Like I do like that concept. Like talking about like a flow state. Like that's like kind of the ultimate. You just have to. He has to be in that perfect state
Mm,
of mind where he can just not wig out. Because if you start stressing climbing, the adrenaline starts to go, and it's actually counterproductive to being like having
mm,
fine motor control. So the fact that he's got the mental capability to be like almost a kilometer off the ground on
mm,
El Capitan in Yosemite and just be
yeah.
making these moves. And it's a hard climb too. Like it's a climb that a lot of people can't actually physically just do it with ropes. You know what I mean? So it's not
Mm,
like it's an
yeah.
easy climb.
Everything was mapped to the centimeter. That was just like, whoa, he's mapped this entire path down to like the centimeter of where he's going to put his finger, which
Yeah,
I was like, that's amazing. Like, I guess you've got to do that to know exactly what's going on. But yeah, and like the people filming or the cinematographers, like trying to position themselves so they weren't too close to like be in view. Because like having an element of the camera there was like an additional pressure of like
mm,
trying to like not perform for the camera just to like kind of remain in your mindset like all these things
that's it.
yeah and like these dudes the DPs were really good climbers as well and they were up there with like reds and huge cameras wasn't yeah
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, people can get some pretty amazing footage of people
mm,
climbing nowadays. I didn't even know he was doing it until I got onto Instagram, and I've only been there for 2 months or so. But he's set up this whole Honnold Foundation, I guess, because he's got a bit of fame and made a little bit of money here and there. So he's
oh
basically
the director
no, the climber, Alex Honnold.
oh I think the
Yeah.
director's made something as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of an adventure production something. I remember
Yeah.
seeing a few ads about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your flavor of like when you're viewing content? What do you get into? Do you have any particular niches or things like that you like?
Uh, I kind of go in and out of it really. Sometimes I watch Netflix, and then sometimes I just don't really don't really watch anything. I don't know. This good movies are so few and far between now, especially with COVID. They haven't released a lot of stuff, and it's rare that I want to commit to a show. I just started watching Fargo, the show. I think
Yeah.
it's a few years old, but I didn't even know it was out. But I really liked Fargo, the movie, the Coen
Yeah.
brothers. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this show.
Are they
But yeah,
making the show as well?
pardon?
Do Coen Brothers make the show, or is it somebody else?
No, I don't think so. I think it was adapted. So I think they even got a different screenwriter, and the director's obviously different. It's not the same.
Mm.
But yeah, it's really good. It's got the guy from what's his name? The guy from the UK office, Tim from the office.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? He was in The Hobbit as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's in there as the main character. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few YouTube people that I like to watch. I like to watch like people that are really good, like Roger Deakins and that kind of really beautiful stuff that I couldn't even picture myself doing. And then
Yeah.
people that are just a bit better than you, so you can kind of see what they're doing and you can improve that way without watching something like I just saw Tenet the other day as well, and I was like, oh my god, I can't even fathom what's happening here. So yeah, it's kind of switched between those two things. But then I watch certain YouTubers and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. I can use that because I can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And kind of jump between that kind of stuff. I love YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I spend maybe too much time there, but it's kind of really inspiring for me. But then other people I know don't even see YouTube the way I do, so they don't even see it as a community and an inspiring thing. Like,
yeah.
and people don't even use YouTube as a search engine, which I'm really like, oh, well, just type it into YouTube. Someone will show you how to do it like straight away. It's not
That's
like
it.
like my mum types some Facebook questions. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, just type that same question into YouTube, and you have someone straight away showing you
Yeah.
exactly how to do it. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to wait for people to respond. So
Yeah.
I guess I think YouTube's like 75 or 80% male, something like that.
Is it really?
Yeah, the viewing numbers are more towards men.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, creators on YouTube are really inspiring. I'm kind of wanting to make more YouTube stuff, and I think when I get a Tassie, that'll probably be a cool thing to be able to do, like the off-grid kind of filmmaking stuff. I see lots of videos, like off-grid videos in YouTube, and I'm like, oh god, I could make a lot better stuff than this.